My name is Jason Guy, and I'm the president and CEO of Foxwoods Resort Casino. And we just want to welcome all of you to our temporary Draftkings Sportsbook. How about a round of applause for that? Before we get going, I just want to recognize a few people that are with us today. I believe we have our entire Mashita Piqua Tribal Council. Let's give them a round of applause. We have several members of the Draftkings team, including Frank Kunovich. Let's give them a round of applause. And last but not least, we have Governor Lamont, who is here. Governor, thank you for attending. Welcome. Let's give him a round of applause. Today, all of you will be able to see what retail sports betting looks like at Foxwoods. And Governor Lamont has kindly volunteered to place the first ceremonial bet, which we'll get to shortly. I'm very curious on what bet he will place. I'm not sure. Will it be the Tampa Bay game on Sunday, or are you more of a Premier Soccer League and going for, Liverpool? Oh, baseball. All right, so we'll have to see. But we're all excited to see the governor kick that off. And either way, we'll get to it shortly. Besides the governor's first bet, everyone here will also have the opportunity to see and experience sports betting firsthand at one of our live sportsbook writers at the desk or through one of our 43 kiosks located throughout the entire resort. And right now, you stand in our temporary sportsbook, Draftkings at Foxwoods. Many of you are most likely looking around and wondering, temporary sportsbook? This is pretty amazing here. And yes, this is our temporary sportsbook. And what's funny is over 29 years ago when we opened, this was developed as a sportsbook. And unfortunately, that long ago, it didn't end up getting signed into the compact. So it ended up being our ultimate race book, which we have run for 29 years. And it's quite a spectacular facility. Few upgrades here and there, and with our partnership with Draftkings, it's really a very, very special temporary book. After the kickoff today, we're excited to exclusively preview our permanent Draftkings Sportsbook, which is in the final stages of development. It'll be in the Great Cedar area of the property, and we're excited to open in mid-November. The Draftkings Sportsbook, the new Draftkings Sportsbook at Foxwoods, will be the first fully integrated retail sportsbook in Connecticut and the premier destination for sports fans. As you can see by some of the renderings on the wall when you entered, the sportsbook will be action-packed over 12,000 square feet, experience anchored by a 50 by 30-foot LED screen behind the bar. Guests can bet, dine, get VIP bottle service, or just grab a beer and enjoy the game. So we're looking forward to the tour a little later after the program today, and so many of you will be able to see the final stages of construction. While we're proud to launch the retail sports betting today, there is so much more to come with mobile and statewide online gaming expected to launch in early October. We are grateful for the Draftkings partnership and their collaboration to help us bring this new kind of gaming entertainment experience to Connecticut. Together, we are propelling the future of gaming innovation across the state. I would now like to introduce Frank Kunovich, Director of Retail Sports Operations at Draftkings. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you, Jason. As Director of Retail Operations, I'm thrilled to represent Draftkings today. A truly exciting time for Connecticut sports fans and the many people who made sports betting possible in the state. Now, fans are able to place bets on professional and collegiate sports while at this premier gaming destination. At Draftkings, we feel honored to have the opportunity to deliver sports betting and, pending regulatory approvals, online sports betting and casino gaming in the state, and in collaborations with Foxwoods, an iconic brand. With the NFL season in full force, this is the perfect time to place a bet. Together with the Mashita Piqua Tribal Nation, an expert in developing and operating one of the largest resort casinos in the world, Draftkings and Foxwoods are delivering a holistic sports betting experience that will revolutionize entertainment in the state. Governor Lamont and the leadership and staff of your administration, it has been a pleasure working with each and every one of you. We've successfully brought legal sports betting to Connecticut, and while the permanent sportsbook is under construction and mobile betting and online gaming is to come at a later date, the future is very exciting. Thank you for having me here today. Everyone at DraftKings looks forward to our continued collaboration.
All right, thank you very much, Frank. What a great partnership we have. And one of the individuals that played a key role in this, and everyone here knows him very well, he's going to come up and say a few things, and really in celebration of this momentous occasion. So I'd like to introduce Chairman of the Mashita Piqua tribe, Rodney Butler.
Kuvikwas, and good morning, everyone. You know, Jay said it. This is a momentous occasion, and for many reasons that probably most of you in the room don't fully appreciate. For us, it's about our community, and it's about who we are as a people. And starting with the drum today, and the heartbeat of our community, and the heartbeat of the heartbeat of us as a nation, is important to share that with you, to show you what this is truly all about. You know, the legislation that was passed to make this happen actually wasn't the most important legislation that was passed this year, right? For us as a community, it was the native curriculum that passed and the importance of sharing that knowledge about who we are. Thank you, Drum. It was the mascot bill that said that schools should respect us. If you're willing to take our money from the slots, you should be willing to respect us as a people. And it was the Mason statue coming down from the state capitol building. And all those came about because of our economic success, and it's the economic success that allows us to do that allows us to reinvest in our community, to grow as a nation, to strengthen as a nation, and again, remember for the world who we are. I mean, last week was actually the 383rd anniversary of the Treaty of Hartford, you know, and based on that, we shouldn't be here today. We shouldn't be celebrating this. Pequots no longer existed based on that treaty. And here we are, another major milestone, not just for the Pequot Nation, but for the great state of Connecticut as well. And so in saying that, I just thank my many family members that are here today, the members of council, the members of the Elders Council, for keeping that Pequot perseverance alive and strong, and that's why we're standing here today. Because of that, we persevered through, you know, through the fires in Mystic to stand here today, standing with the governor of this state and celebrating this amazing milestone. And so thank you, family, for your belief in this council and continuing to push us forward. A round of applause for them. And also, we have many members of the southeastern and statewide legislative body, and there's too many to completely recognize them all. So I don't want to point anyone out and offend everyone that I miss. But again, it was an amazing partnership, in particular with the southeastern delegation of Connecticut, and believing in what we do as a nation and our impact on this region and our importance to the region. And we appreciate you guys leading the charge over the last few years. And you know, we finally got across the finish line on this one because of your perseverance as well. And so we appreciate you. We thank you. And last but not least, you know, as been said, I've been at this for a very long time. And I'm surprised sometimes that the community has actually stuck with me in my insanity on this. Like, no, hold in there. We're going to get it. We're going to, at some point, you know, this is what makes sense, not only for Pequot, but for the state of Connecticut, and really for the gaming industry at large. We have to migrate to sports betting, and we have to get online. Every other industry is going there. And I'll say we made progress on the last administration, and significant progress in retail gaming in the last administration. But under the governor and his vision and understanding of business and the importance of technology, and more so now than ever during this pandemic, how every industry was moving online. And I recall the day we were sitting there, and Ned, the governor, says to me, "Hey, Rod, every industry is moving online. Why aren't you guys? Why aren't we doing that with the gaming industry?" And I said, "Ned, brilliant idea." All right, I'm with you. Let's go. And from that moment on, you know, there was this joint commitment to make the progress that we made in this last legislative session. And there was gives and takes in that. And ultimately, it was a deal that we all feel is the best interest for both our sovereign nation and his. And it worked out in a way that we're here today celebrating. And so we couldn't do that without your support, your leadership, Governor Lamont, and we just appreciate you and thank you so much for your commitment to this nation. And so with that, it is my distinguished honor to introduce to you all the governor of the great state of Connecticut, Governor Ned Lamont.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you. That's Rolling Stones are looking for a new drummer, by the way. You guys are pretty good. And seriously, to what Rodney said and to the Tribal Council, one of the most important things we did this year, I think, was you don't know anything about American history. You don't know anything about Connecticut history. You understand our full history, and that includes the Native American history. That includes the history of the Pequots here. Been here a lot longer than everybody else, and I think that was one of the most important things we did. To the issue at hand, you're right, Rodney. This has been a long time coming. We had a few 3 a.m. emails, as I remember, and text messages. Here he is again. Whoa. We've been working at this for 10 years, and, it's worth it. You're right. The world is changing. The world is moving more virtual. We found that with telehealth and telecommuting, and iGaming and iSports and sports betting are no different. And here we are in the 21st century. That means that Foxwoods continues to grow and prosper. You're such an important part of our state, an anchor tenant here. Everybody ought to come. What it means for our state as we reinvent ourselves, what it means in terms of revenues that can be invested back in the state is incredibly important. And this is really fun for me because I am a bit of a sports junkie, and now there's a little more edge in the game. I'm ready to go. Brady versus Belichick, that's a pretty good bet. Are they going to embrace at the end? I mean, you could do a lot here. I'll probably play a little safer and go with the Yankees over Toronto. But most importantly, I want to say to each and every one of you what this means for the state. Hey, a special shout out also to our friends in the legislature. This has been a long time coming. Maria and Kathy in particular taking the lead. We passed this in May, and here we are 4 months later, casting our first bet. This is faster than any other state in the country been able to get going. And let's not waste another moment. I'm ready to cast my first bet, and I hope a lot of you come around and cast your first bets as well. Thanks, everybody.
All right, so if I could have the Tribal Council come up and join us for the ceremonial first bet. This is the leadership of our nation. We are a 7-member council in our legislative body. Frank, you have the voucher? Oh. Secretary Pearson. Oh, Vice Chairwoman. There we go. Oh, there we go. All right. All right, Governor.
Rodney, what do I do? I want.
So I think you put in the money first. You want your money first, Governor.
What do you want? Christopher Dollar?
I think it's counterfeit.
$100 All right. MLB. Whoa! Gee, there's a lot of choices here. Yes.
You can bet against my rules.
I'll do this. So I just hit on this one? Yep. Do I hit on my team?
Right here, it's going to be the touchdown. It's got the Yankees money line. That's the winning game right there. And you put in for how much you want. $20.
How do I get this? 26, that's it? This is a tough game. This is a big game. And now I got a receipt. What's the bet? There we go.
There it is.
$20. Yankees. Okay. I've already won. How's that? Go ahead. Go to the next one. You're not allowed to, are you? Sorry. You can't bet.
Yes. Let's give one more round of applause for the governor placing the first ceremonial bet here. Draftkings at Foxwoods Sportsbook. Yeah, we'll go right into Q&A. Before we get to Q&A, I just want to give a huge thank you for the entire Foxwoods team that put this temporary sportsbook together in record time. Did an amazing job. So many names, too many to name, but it was a real team effort, and I couldn't be prouder of the entire team. And this place looks spectacular. So we'll get right into Q&A. I think Chairman and I could answer that. I mean, it is a huge deal, not only for Foxwoods and the team here and getting some more traffic through and creating another amenity here at the resort, but also for the Mashita Piqua tribe and what it means and how many years that we've been working on this and what that revenue could do for the tribe and the sustainability long term that it really means as we look 10 to 15 years down the road and what that means to the tribal nation. So. Yes, absolutely it will. We're in the process. We've already made the hires for the new Draftkings Sportsbook, and so I believe we have 54 hires there. But what we've seen in other jurisdictions is that the brick and mortar retail sportsbook actually does drive incremental gaming revenue. So we hope it does play a part in increasing the amenities we have here at the resort and opportunities for employment here. You know, I think early on we considered that, and we've been working on this for a very long time, but because it's really for the entire state of Connecticut now, we're less concerned about that. We believe that within the state of Connecticut, there's a tremendous amount of revenue and opportunity for sports fans and employment in general. And that's why what makes this such a landmark deal with the state of Connecticut. And so we're very excited about it.
A couple things here. DCP, and I'll let Governor speak to it. DCP is working their tails off around the clock. As Governor mentioned, you know, this is record time. We have colleagues out in Washington State that had their compacts approved, you know, months ago, and they're hoping to launch in November. And so, you know, we did really compress the time schedule here, and everyone did a great job. There's still, you know, some last-minute licensing that we're working on and getting through. I mean, the goal, we're ready to launch, but the goal of the 7th, because of the soft launch, we're going to miss that, obviously. And hopefully we're soft launching in the next week or two here. But again, they're working around the clock on it, so we appreciate that.
Been a lot of pressure, hasn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. Thank you, Governor.
Has there been thought to what you're going to spend the tax revenue upon as far as earmarking any kind of projects or any thought to where you're going to put the money for the state of Connecticut?
Well, our friends from the legislature are here, so I think there'll be plenty of really good ideas on how this money can be appropriately invested. Kathy's got her list. But no, we've moved really fast on this. And look, Maine doesn't have anything. Massachusetts doesn't have anything. New York is not there. So Connecticut is, you know, I think pretty early out of the box. And as Rodney said, we move fast. What this means for jobs, what this means for opportunity, what this means for just good fun and doing it safely with an eye on public health. Foxwoods has got it right.
Governor, can you talk a little bit about, in terms of projected revenues for the state, or maybe Senator Austin can shed some light?
Yeah, I can start off anyway. I think what we've got in the budget for the next couple of years is, you know, $10 million plus between the two casinos, iGaming sports. Then you've got the lottery on top of that. I think we'd like to think within 4 or 5 years, maybe it means about $100 million in revenues to the state, all in. a year, annually.
And slot revenues right now are what, roughly, Rodney?
Do you have that number?
So slot revenues right now are around the 230, 240, 230, 240 million to the state. Even with the setback of COVID in the last year, we saw, and Jason could speak to it, he and his team did an amazing job reopening Foxwoods, doing it in a safe way, and the numbers have proven out to show that. And so we're on track for some level of stabilization year over year, about 240. And we do think that this will be added value to the property and increase foot traffic, and we think that the slot number should continue to grow as the years go by.
Could this change your demographic a little bit, skew it younger?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, sports betting, it's known that it has a younger demographic, and that'll bring them into the property, expose them to the amenities that everyone else knows and loves and have seen for decades. In fact, one of the reporters we were talking about how he was in this room, 20 plus years ago, and this is kind of coming home for him to see this. And so we want people that have been here to be excited. We want the new players to be excited, and sports betting certainly gets them in the door.
Rodney, as a former UConn football player.
Not Darius Butler, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff Hamilton.
You said they're in my,
Yeah.
you're in their head.
A little bit.
Two great athletes.
Tell me a little bit about what it means to you as a sports fan and a college athlete.
Yeah, well, again, we've been working on this for a long time, and it's nothing more exciting. Now, you can't, technically, full disclosure, you can't bet on UConn sports yet, Governor, legislature, in time. We got to get comfortable with it. Most states start off that way, where you can't bet on in-state schools, and then over time they realize that it's safe and that you can, and everyone else is betting around us on it. So, no, it's great. Right now, it'd be unfortunately betting against my Huskies, but that hurts my heart. But otherwise, incredibly excited about the opportunity.
Once everything's up and running, can you talk about what portion of the revenues are going to be from here in the sportsbook and what portion are going to be online?
Well, in most jurisdictions, the majority of revenue is online, right? Pre-pandemic, it was probably 80-20. Obviously, pandemic, it was 99-1, right? And so we're seeing post-pandemic that it's slowly going back to the 80% online, 20% in person.
How do you think that you will stand apart from your competition, not just Mohegan, but also the lotteries and how
Well, we have Jason. That's how we're going to stand apart. No pressure, Jay. But no, seriously. I mean, when you see it, and Jay's going to lead the Hard Hat Tour, there's nothing like what we're creating. And this is our temporary space, and look how amazing it is, and look what the team did to create this. Our permanent space is going to be world-class, second to none. And so we believe that and all the other amenities that Jason and team are working on to keep us on the front edge of the gaming industry is going to continue to attract patrons and steal from our competition as well as we move forward for the next few years.
How about differentiating yourself when it comes to the online game?
Well, the differentiation online is that we've partnered with the best in the industry, right? And we went through a long vetting process, and every partner that Mohegan and the state have looked at, we looked at over the course of years, and we landed on Draftkings for a reason, because they are the best in the industry. Their brand is the strongest, especially in the New England market. And so that's a key differentiator for us, is that the strengths of that partnership, and to be able to work together with Draftkings brand and our brand to work online and drive people back to the amazing amenities that we have here at Foxwoods.
How big was Draftkings as a brand to make it happen? To have Draftkings, that brand with Foxwoods, was that an issue to push it over the edge to make it happen?
No, absolutely. That was the key point. Like, we wanted someone that could be, on parallel, on even par with us as far as our brand. I mean, Foxwoods is a world-known brand, and we sometimes forget that in this part of the country because we're so used to it. But we travel around the country, around the world, and you say Foxwoods, and there's instant brand recognition. And so we wanted a brand to partner with that we got that same level of recognition. And again, Draftkings just jumped off the pages. You can't watch anything today or drive anywhere without seeing Draftkings out there. And again, makes them just a perfect partner for us.
And Governor, what is under the Connecticut lotteries? What do they sort of control in the sports betting game? It's the 10 sport tech locations? Or?
Well, a couple of questions. A, everything is regulated by DCP, so we do it safely, make sure the right people are betting, make sure we keep an eye on problem gambling. What the lottery is doing is they've got the retail sport tech locations, like you point out, that could get going as early as next week. And then they'll be rolling out their own iLottery very soon. Boy, a lot of Belichick v. Brady. That's my next bet. There's a lot up there.
2 kiosks behind it.
We good?
All right, good?
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all, appreciate it.
So thank you so much for attending. We're going to be doing a hard hat tour, so those from the press that are interested in that, we can meet at the entrance to the sports book here, and we'll walk over to Cedar. We do have the ability to drive some people over. It's about a 5-minute walk. But thank you so much for everybody in attendance.